All right, welcome back. This is Wake Up Salone here on AYV television and radio. We're broadcasting from our studio at the top of Tower Hill off Pedemba Road in Freetown, Sierra Leone's beautiful capital.
Indeed, coming up in the program this morning, the National Publicity Secretary of the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, Moses Mambu, will be speaking on the party's unity drive after their 2025 National Delegates Conference, among other developments within their party.
And the main opposition All People's Congress, APC party, is currently preparing to conduct its internal elections. We shall be discussing concerns by members on the 5 years stay in party to be qualified for flag bearer, among other latest developments and preparations of their elections.
Indeed, as always, it's your voice and ours in the studio, so join in on the conversation this morning. Go to our Facebook page and drop your comments there. It's always AYV News.
Now we'll jump into our first conversation. In the first segment this morning, in the studio, we have been joined by the National Publicity Secretary of the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, Moses Mambu. Mambu is here to talk on the unity drive after their 2025 National Delegates Conference, among other things. Good morning, Mambu. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good morning, viewers. Thank you for having me.
So the party is on a national unity drive, correct?
Yes.
Which means you can only be on a unity drive if you have detected some form of disunity ongoing in the party. What happened that now you've been on unity drive?
Unity itself is a relative term, which means it's a continuous process, just like love. Every day you and your husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, you need to be reassuring yourself about how much love you have for each other. So the word peace in any organization, certain community or a country need continuous reminder. So what the SLPP is currently doing is to remind ourselves about the importance of sticking and staying together as a party after our convention, which was unprecedented, which saw over 2,000 party members, sympathizers, and delegates came together to elect our national officers for the next 3 years. It was jam-packed, and we were graced by the presence of the leader himself, His Excellency the President, for 2 days. And we had a great moment as a party. But at the end of it all, we as a new executive, they call us all game final. We are not underestimating any information of relevance regarding this unity. So at the end of our convention, there were skirmishes. I call them skirmishes within our party. Some quarters, people were getting scared that there are issues from here and there. So as a proactive executive who is here to make sure we maintain power beyond 2028, that is sacrosanct. We want to make sure every structure of our party, from our leadership, our stakeholders level, to the least structure of our party, which is the zonal and the chiefdom level, we are all speaking from the same side of one coin, which is the palm tree himself. So
quantify the unity you would say exists within the SLPP right now, because you debunked me saying going on a unity tour is giving the assumption that there could be disunity, but you're saying that's not the case.
Not.
So quantify the level of unity within the SLPP.
The level of unity within the SLPP right now, I can say, is 89%. Where SLPP is united up to 89%.
So it's disunited about 11%.
Well, I cannot say it's disunited. There are skirmishes.
So you said 89% unity. What happened to the 11%?
That's what I'm saying. The 11%.
Does the 11% count for disunity or something else?
No, it can be categorized in different segments.
Go ahead.
So one, you cannot categorize all the 11% into disunity. Part of that 11%, there are skirmishes. Part of that 11% also, there are signs. There are signs of disunity from certain quarters of the party. So that's why I said, for us as a national executive, we are not taking any information regarding disunity or signs of disunity for granted. So that is why we triggered quickly provisions in our constitution which brought together the Elders Council by the chairman himself, Sir Jimmy Batley Osonga, for two reasons. One is for the Elders Council to diagnose what is going on. Because if you have a vehicle and you have a breakdown, you're a driver, you have a breakdown on your way, the first thing you want to know what's going on with your vehicle. So you may need to call your fitter, right, to either connect the computer on the car, depending on the model of the car, to diagnose the problem of the vehicle. So that's exactly what this executive, that's exactly what we did. We triggered the Elders Council and give them two mandates. One, to diagnose what is going on within the party. We're hearing issues of skirmishes within the sites, the corridors of our party. So want them to quickly diagnose it for us to know what is going on. And then when they know what is going on, we also give them the mandate, which is under their constitutional purview, to make sure they address those concerns, the issues they found out that are the reasons why the skirmishes, the little rumors are coming. And I must say, the Elders Council
exist before now?
Yes, they exist.
Who are the members of the Elders Council?
The Elders Council, they are categorized in different segments. For example, we have every region have an Elders Council, and all of those regions' Elders Council, they have the National Elders Council of the party. So they were triggered. All of them, the Elders Council across the country, from every region, came together in Freetown to make sure that they have a national coverage of Elders Council. And who are these Elders Council? These are party members, all party members. Some of them were part of the foundational layout of our party when it started in Cambia some 61, 62, 63 years ago. So they were part of the foundational layout.
What's the responsibility of Elders Council? Yes, name them, then let's understand their responsibility.
Yeah, I'll name one, which is synonymous to every Sierra Leonean, Dr. Samabanya, for example, who have led this party, who are part of the foundational layout of this party. So they have only two interests, the Elders Council. Interest number one is to make sure the SLPP as a family is always together, always together. Number two is to make sure, if at all we are not together, they have the mandate to bring us together at all costs. They have the will, they have the power, they have the know-how, they have the institutional memory to remind all SLPP stakeholders, members, and sympathizers.
I wanted to get this background, Mambu, to take us to this point. Understanding if they had been in existence, where were they? And you've clearly stated their mandate. Mm-hmm. Sustain unity within the party.
Yes.
Where were they, the Elders Council, when, hold on, where were they when we've seen on social media particularly, some members of the SLPP having a tit for tat, having a banter on social media, having disagreements publicly? Where was the Elders Council when all this was going on? That's why I asked you, when were they in existence before now? What happened that there was nothing heard from them?
Okay, so the SLPP have a membership and sympathizers of about 4.1 million people. I'm going to repeat this again for you to get the base.
How do we verify that data? Sierra Leone is a country of about 8.6 something million people, and you're saying SLPP has about 4 point something. That's about half the country.
Yes. So
how can people verify this data you just mentioned?
You're a journalist, so that's why I said I want to repeat myself. The SLPP, as the oldest political party in Sierra Leone, have a membership and sympathizers of about 4.1 million people.
How do you how can the public verify what you just said? It would be easy to pass this off as just a bogus statement.
No, it's not.
So what proof would you stand on that statement you've just made?
No, I'm coming from the SLPP. I'm the mouthpiece of the SLPP.
They can't just take anybody's word for anything. No, how can the public verify your statement?
You can contact my office. Anybody, any member of the public can contact my office. I can provide you tangible evidence to show that the SLPP have a membership and sympathizers of about 4.1 million people across Sierra Leone and around the world. So which means that's a huge number. So let's say we have a direct membership of about 2.1 million Sierra Leoneans that are members of the Sierra Leone People's Party, right? We have an Elders Council structure of about 80 people. So the functions, the Elders Council have always been in existence. Now, the National Executive have the constitutional mandate to trigger every arm of the party when the needs arises. So for us, we are a proactive executive. We are not sitting down for problems to consume us. That's why I said, if we notice signs of skirmishes around corridors of our party, we automatically use provisions within our constitution to trigger structures within the party that are responsible to take immediate actions. And one of those structures within our party is the Elders Council.
I asked you for the names for a reason, because the First Lady had said it's been a long time. Some members of the SLPP have been trying to wedge a sword between her and her husband, trying to separate them. So who are the members of the Elders Council? She mentioned some names as well, making allegations to those people who have been trying to separate her from her husband. And these are all SLPP people. So why is the SLPP, why are some members of the SLPP trying to drive a wedge between the president and his wife, the First Lady?
Well, for us, that falls outside the mandate of the SLPP National Executive. So
why so? When these are SLPP people, the First Lady is a member of the SLPP, the president is,
okay,
and the
please.
names she mentioned,
so
those she alleged are trying to separate her from her husband,
so
are SLPP people.
So please, the SLPP party solve problems that affect its membership across the board. The SLPP does not. The SLPP executive, through using our constitution, does not interfere with rumors of family problems between our members.
Those are not rumors. No, the First Lady went on her Facebook Live, so these are not hearsay.
No,
this is the First Lady herself mentioning on her official pages. These are not rumors.
If you allow me, I'm here to educate the public.
Are you disregarding what the First Lady said?
I am not. If you give me the time, I'll be able to build the premise for the public to clearly understand the mandate of the Sierra Leone People's Party. The Sierra Leone People's Party have a mandate to win elections, work with our structures, and protect our membership. The SLPP party does not have a mandate to interfere on who is trying to destroy whose marriage. That is not the mandate of the SLPP. If there's a problem between the First Lady, who is a member of the SLPP, and another senior member of the SLPP who are member or junior member or any member of the SLPP, it is the responsibility of the National Executive to make sure those problems are addressed adequately and effectively.
But you just said the Elders Council has a responsibility to ensure peace and unity within the party.
Of course, that's what they are doing. That's why I said we don't have the responsibility to address issues of rumor. For example, if the First Lady say, oh, somebody is trying to destroy my marriage, the SLPP does not have the ability or the constitutional mandate to interfere in such matters. But the
Elders Council does.
The Elders Council have the mandate to bring peace within the SLPP, within and among members of the SLPP. That is the mandate they have. That is the dichotomy I want us to draw. Now, what the Elders Council have been doing is to make sure they diagnose the skirmishes within the SLPP, and the Elders Council have been meeting on a daily basis to make sure they speak across the board to every stakeholder, every grassroots member across the country to make sure that everybody within the SLPP come back together. We work together because the new executive that have just been constituted have two mandates. One, to make sure we keep the family of the SLPP together and then focus our attention to win the 2028 election. Put all our energy together, our synergies, our efforts together to make sure that the 2028 election that is coming be a first round victory for the SLPP. So that is why we are not sitting by, we are not waiting. Every problem detected is a concern to this executive, and that is why, under the leadership of Sir Jimmy Batilo Songa and our Secretary General Paranta Awali, have triggered the Elders Council, have brought them together, have given them the mandate to make sure they address those issues of concern to the SLPP. The other issues that are not concerned to the SLPP, that can be handled in a separate manner. Our focus as an executive is to make sure issues that have the temerity to divide us as a party, the Elders Council quickly comes in to address those issues. And quickly now, with now the National Executive is now even working to again re-establish the disciplinary committee. So there are some issues that falls beyond the mandate of the Elders Council to bring people together that has to do with disciplinary actions. The Constitution also gave us the mandate to reconstitute again as a new executive the disciplinary committee, so that they can also be looking at disciplinary issues where we can discipline people for going overboard that falls outside the mandate of how an SLPP member should behave, because we are a democratic party, we are a party of rule of law, we are a party of development, we are a very disciplined party. That is why we are sober, we're focused to make sure we remain and continue to remain the only political party that have laid a solid foundation for the growth and development of this country.
How cordial would you say is the relationship among, members, top members of the party?
You see,
strategic members of the party.
You see, even among your family, my brother, even at home, your family, this is fact. It's happened, even to me, even among families at home. You always have issues. It is okay to have issues, even at family. No, I'm just building a premise for you to understand that even among your family, you always have issues. That's okay. SLPP is a family that is bigger, up to 4.1 million supporters and sympathizers. That's a huge, of course, that's a huge family member. Okay. To keep a family of that magnitude together, it takes the grace of God, which we have, the grace of God. So we will never say there will not be little problems within our party. No, of course they are little. The SLPP as a unit is together. But that does not mean we can run away from the little skirmishes within our family, because our family is big, our family is diverse. SLPP is the only political party that is outside Kamakwe Road structure. We are the only political party that have representatives from all tribes, all political administrative districts in this country, all political denominations in this country. No, that's the truth. We are the only.
Would you verify that?
No, it is clear.
Are you a member of the APC?
No, but it's clear. No, hold on.
C4C.
No, my brother.
There's NGC.
I can tell you.
You wouldn't say.
No, my brother.
I feel that's fallacious.
My brother.
To say that your party.
My brother.
That's all the tribes in Sierra.
My brother. The SLPP is the only political party, I can tell you that, in Sierra Leone.
How can you verify that?
It can be verifiable. You are an investigative journalist. You can go out there and verify it. I am making a policy statement that is fact. The SLPP is the only political party in Sierra Leone.
You can't say the only.
It's the only.
If you say my party has all the tribes.
No, let me tell you. No, it's because I know about other political parties.
You know about all.
Of course, all the other political parties, their structure, their leadership structure, their national executive structure, I know. The only political party with a national face in Sierra Leone is the Sierra Leone People's Party. And we are also the only political party in Sierra Leone that is outside the Kamakwe Road setup.
We are not. Gentleman's agreement on that. But let's go back to what I was asking, unity and harmony. Just a few weeks ago, the First Lady fired heavily on Napoleon on Facebook, calling him Gentile, hypocrite, and all of these kinds of very strong and rough adjectives.
Yes.
And you said that your party, within the rank and file, there is unity. How would you justify?
So as a journalist, you have three abilities. You need to have three qualities. One of the qualities you need to have is to understand the question. The other quality you need to have is to understand context.
Okay.
The other quality and the final quality you need to have is to understand passiveness of a question. What do I mean?
From which
I have
journalism textbook is this coming from this morning?
I have told you.
You're lecturing for the first time. Right?
Yes, I have told you the SLPP have a membership and sympathizers of about 4.1 million. Okay, let me leave that because
I think you're deflecting.
No, I'm coming.
That's a question about the first lady and Napoleon on Facebook.
I'm coming back to the point.
Juxtaposing what you said.
I'm bringing you to the point. If you listen to me, I'm bringing you to the point.
No, go ahead. I just
the point I want to land you on is that we are a family with huge following, huge membership.
Okay.
It is okay for family members to have problems. It's okay. We accept that as a party. That's what makes us the only democratic institution, political institution in Sierra Leone, SLPP. It is okay for those kind of things to happen. What is not okay is for it to escalate to something different than what you're saying. What you had was a social media exposure or expose by the First Lady. We had that as a party. We quickly reacted to all of the statements Her Excellency the First Lady made. We quickly triggered the Elders Council and say, hey, this is what we have had. These are senior members of our party. What is going on?
And what's their relationship currently?
The relationship currently is okay. The Elders Council have worked on those relationships. You saw the Elders Council, they met the former chairman of the party. They met Her Excellency the First Lady. They have met with Napoleon. All of those issues were misunderstanding. The Elders Council are far gone in making sure they understand what the problems were among those senior key stakeholders of our party and how they can solve those issues. Anytime this week, the Elders Council will be briefing the National Executive on what they have done, where they are, and what the next steps are to be. But what I want the public and you, the media, to understand is that it is okay for families to have problems. They can say in Creole, femme boutique they bend. Not so, but femme boutique, they broke. So it's okay for families. Sometimes we can have it heated. That's what democracy is about. That's what diversity speaks about. SLPP is a diverse political party.
I like your fortitude.
It's a diverse political party with every member owning their own views, their own perspective, owing up to their own perceptions of what the SLPP should be. It is okay. What should worry you? What should worry you is for you sitting here hearing that, oh, okay, AYV have an information that the Secretary General and the PRO Mambu, they are not in talking terms. Or the PRO
Why
and
should
the
I be
National
worried
Chairman.
about that?
Because we are the drivers. You know why you should be worried about that? We are the drivers. We are in the driving seat to make sure we drive home the unity. We drive home a coalition of about 4.5 million membership and followership to make sure we get them to the polls in 2028 to re-elect the SLPP again in governance. The reason being, why are you not hearing that? Because in as much as we went to the contest at Bintu Mani with different perspectives as candidate, after Bintu Mani, 37-member national executive came together and we took a resolution that irrespective we are supporting Mr. A or Mrs. B, this is the SLPP national executive. We only have one leader, His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, and we have one tree that we are following, which is the palm tree. We are all under the palm tree. We are guided by the palm tree. We want this executive to remain under the palm tree, not to move under the sun.
Even when
we stick together.
Even when you sang on the First Lady in the Well of Parliament?
Who did that? No.
Excuse me?
No, our national executive. I'm drawing the context of our national executive.
I'm talking about party members. You talked about the behavior of SLP members earlier.
The scenario I'm drawing is that the national executive is together. Because the national executive is together and is united, every other issue can be surmounted. We can address every other challenges that is coming from our party members who can address it. The first thing you want is to see the leadership of AYV united. If the leadership of AYV is not united, nothing can happen. The reporters, the cameramen, all will go haywire.
What does Kokoros mean?
So what? I don't know what that means. The party have triggered the Elders Council.
Do you
all
know
of
what
those
COCOROS
issues
means?
I don't know what that means in the context.
It's a popular phrase within
I
the
don't know
SLPP.
in the context of which you are asking the question. If you ask me what does COCOROS mean, I don't know. In the context, if you put it in context, then I'll give you an answer. But if you ask me in this context, within this interview, what does COCOROS mean, I can answer you. Put it in context.
2028 is not too far from now.
You said what?
2028 is not too far from now.
Of course.
I mean, I like your fortitude this morning, recurring all these, fine plans. But if you are disunited, I think it will be very catastrophic for you for the next election. Now, you've said that you're going to win the election in first rounds. I think also is quite presumptuous, don't you think?
Okay.
But aside the fact that you tried to lecture me this morning, which I find somehow insulting for a civil society man, you don't even know my background in the first place. Granted that, we can just strike a harmony now, moving forward. However, I understand something that not everything is PR. I mean, I know it's your job to talk for the party, but again, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, President Joseph Mambu had to hold all of your men, including most of them in the cabinet, to say, hey, I'm not giving back on him, so you don't go. It was quite chaotic, and I saw a list, an exhausting list of them. So half of the cabinet running to become a flag bearer of the party.
Let me tell you what disunity in a political party is. I can take you back to history. In the last SLPP convention in 2005, building up to 2007, you saw a clear evidence of what disunity is, right? When the flag bearership was given to Solo B, you saw what Charles Magai did, right? Charles Magai formed a political party. That political party led to the downfall of the SLPP. The SLPP have never lost election in Sierra Leone, a democratic elections in Sierra Leone when we are together. It has never happened.
What do you mean by a democratic election?
The SLPP political party have never lost a democratic election in Sierra Leone when we are together.
Aren't all elections in Sierra Leone democratic?
No, I'm making a phrase for you to understand clearly. We have never, not all elections in Sierra Leone have been democratic. You can go back.
Which ones aren't?
You can go back in history.
Which ones aren't? You made an
That's what I'm saying. I said you can go back to the era of
clarify.
Shaka Stephen when we had one party state. You have to be forced to go to the poll. That was not a democratic election. But that's not why I'm here this morning. We can go back in that debate on how Shaka Stephen and the APC were conducting elections in the 60s and 70s. That can be debate for another day. But what I'm telling you is, you saw firsthand what disunity can do to a political party. You saw firsthand what disunity is like when someone became disgruntled to form a political party from your stronghold. That political party led to your downfall, including losing the presidential powers, the executive arm of the government. You lost it. So you saw it. What is happening now in the SLPP is far from that. The SLPP is totally, from the executive level, the leadership level of the SLPP, we are united, totally. Just yesterday, the other day was the birthday of our chairman. Our chairman called me from London. PRO, are you okay? I said, yes, chairman, I'm okay. Thank you, PRO. I appreciate you. You're doing well. This is my chairman saying that to me. He later called the Secretary General and other members of the executive, the camaraderie, the love, the unity among the executive. That is top notch. You cannot compare that to any political party.
When did you enter the SLPP, Mambu?
You said what?
When did you enter the SLPP?
When did I
enter the SLPP or become a member of the SLPP? I knew you to be a very strong society person in Sierra Leone.
No, man.
This was a sudden switch.
This is a question I have answered. I'm now the spokesperson for the SLPP. So this is a reverse psychology now you're trying to play.
No.
Asking me when did I enter, it does not hold premise to why I'm here.
Whether you're
I have
a member of the party
maybe
while advocating as a CSO in Sierra Leone all this while.
We have passed all of that. I'm now, of course, I'm a full-blown politician who has, for now, I'm the second most popular individual after the Secretary General of our party. I pulled at a delegate conference.
Excuse me?
I pulled.
Most popular?
The second most popular within our delegates.
Within the party?
Within the delegate conference of the SLPP.
Okay.
I pulled the second highest vote after the Secretary General of the party. So going back to ask those questions, they do not form the basis of the relevance of why I'm here this morning. Because by now, I'm coming. By now, listen, what you should be doing now.
People who are listening to you this morning, who didn't listen to you then,
Indeed.
who want to understand, were you always a member of the SLPP, even as a CSO? Because The CSOs have had their own fair share of bashing. So at points they've earned the nickname Evil Society. So the question is valid. When did you become a member of the SLPP?
No,
it's to help the people understand. Did you leave civil society and go join the SLPP and push forward, or were you playing both sides?
When I launched my campaign to be the publicity secretary of the biggest and the greatest political party ever seen in Sierra Leone, all these questions came up in the media.
It doesn't hurt for you to answer them again.
I'm coming. No, you know why it does not fall within my purview why I'm here this morning? Because we are moving on. This question is taking me back.
You back?
Of course. These are questions. Listen.
Respect
for the fact that
the conversation.
I launched the biggest campaign for the publicity secretary of the SLPP.
All the many words you've used to explain, you could have simply given an answer. Let me also help you understand the relevance of that answer to this conversation. Some of the things you say about the SLPP, it helps people understand. Is he misinforming the public because he doesn't know much about the SLPP because he's a new member? So while you may not see a justification or validation for that, to some people, they see wisdom in that as well.
No, there is no wisdom in that because
based off your own assessment and judgment, valid.
Okay.
Someone else would give you a different interpretation or opinion on that to say it is justified.
Okay.
But please, indulge us.
Okay, so when you go to an interview, the viewers follow two things.
Mambu, that's not the purpose of this conversation.
No, I know, but
understanding journalism.
No. I want to be.
As simple. Are you refusing to respond to that question? It's as simple as we move on to something else. To spend the time diverting and going, it doesn't.
No, the question is a public information.
Is it something you don't want to answer to?
No, because the question does not fall within
so it's public
the reasons
information. Why won't you reiterate it?
I have been.
You have reiterated the number of members you have, 4-point-something million,
and
a number of times, but you keep reiterating it.
And sympathizer.
You didn't say I've mentioned it before, I'll stop mentioning. You keep mentioning it.
No, because the question.
So why is this one so tough for you to reiterate?
Okay, Phoebe, I want you to give me the platform to respond.
To what is asked, yes.
So if you give me the platform to respond,
to what is asked, yes.
If you don't want me to respond,
you can respond to what is asked.
Okay. So what I'm saying is the question you ask does not fall within the context of why I'm here.
When did you join this?
Don't make that judgment for us.
No, it's me.
Do you want to answer that question, yes or no?
So that's why I said,
it's as simple as, do you want to answer it or not?
Are you giving me the platform to
answer what was asked?
That's why you are here.
Are you giving me the platform?
You are on the platform. You are on the platform.
No, but you're not taking up the
But you're not answering the question that is asked to you.
When did you join the SLPP?
You cannot be, listen, you cannot be the player and be the ref at the same time.
Excuse me.
If you want to be the ref, be the ref. Let me be the player.
I feel you are insulting us, Mambu.
But you cannot redirect.
I feel you are insulting us.
When did you join the SLPP?
I feel you are insulting us.
Okay, so for me, my answer to that question does not fall within the remit of why I'm here this morning.
So we take it that you're refusing to answer that.
My answer to the question is, the question does not fall within the remit of the reasons why I'm here this morning.
It does,
That's the
Mambu.
answer to the question.
It does, Mambu.
So
you know why?
Now we are taking another conversation.
You've made so many assertions. You've made so many statements.
Yes.
For someone like you who was a civil society member, it would be hard for people, and you know some of the things you've said, we've asked you. How can people verify that?
I told you that you can verify it. You are an investigative journalist. You can verify any information.
So we take it that you're making statements without sort of a solid foundation to back that
Every statement I made here have a solid foundation to back it up.
Including winning first rounds?
Of course. We are going to win the election. 2028 election is going to be a first round winning for the SLPP.
Mambu,
we know the data we are looking at.
Let's come back to the unity within your party.
Thank you.
You saying party members are united.
Yes.
But what we've seen in Sierra Leone, beyond just even politics, even in associations, after elections, big or small, there are people who feel that I shouldn't have lost that election.
Yes.
And it sort of like demotivates them from fully participating in the activities of that association. It's even worse with political parties.
Yes.
And we see now there's quite a number of people as well being interested, rumoring to want to succeed President Biu as flag bearer. That in itself is contributing a lot of agree or disagree division. What lessons has the SLPP learned from the APC in 2018?
Well, not just the APC. From the SLPP itself, we need to learn lesson from what happened in McKinney in 2005 between the election of Solo B and Charles Magai. We need to learn, before we get to the APC, the SLPP need to learn lesson from itself. And we have learned those lessons. That is why you remember last year, there were rumors of various people coming out vying for the flag bearer of the SLPP. And you quickly had statement from the leadership of the SLPP putting a stop to all flag bearer race competition or arguments in social media or any platform that has to do with the SLPP. We quickly stopped that.
Why?
And say our focus was to deliver for the people of this country. If you want to lead the SLPP, you must now focus on delivering on the mandate, the manifesto promises we made to the people of Sierra Leone. You have to make sure you support His Excellency President Bio to deliver on the mandate the SLPP put forward.
Funnily, it wasn't the party executive that stopped that. It was His Excellency the President who did that.
You said what?
It was the President actually who suppressed that appetite.
The President is
not the rank and file of the party, as you're making reference.
Of course, the leadership supported it. The President is the leader of our party, is the political head of our party. That decision was supported by the administrative head of the party, the chairman, the secretary general, and the NEC supported that decision. The second highest decision-making body of our party supported that decision. The reason being, we have learned our lesson as SLPP in the past and current. What we want to do, we're a democratic party. The space is open for every member of our party who want to vie for the leadership of our party. It is beautiful. You know why? Because people run to a market. People want to buy a market that is good. Nobody wants to go close to a product that is not sellable. So if you see 60, 70 people want to be the flag bearer of the SLPP.
You know what people are saying outside?
No, I'm coming. It is because they have seen possibilities.
Mambu, do you know what people are saying outside?
It's
people
because
are saying that they're tired of these two parties. In case you don't know this.
No, people are not tired of the SLPP. You know why? People are not tired of the SLPP. You know why? Because the SLPP is the only political party who have laid a true foundation for the growth of this country.
In what ways?
Of course, 3 ways. Number one, the SLPP ended the war in this country, that today we are enjoying peace. People laid their life, including selling out democratic powers to
Mambu,
leaders.
I want to read one thing for you.
Oh,
based on, you just said something. You said not the SLPP. Hussein Hassan, currently watching the program on our Facebook page, this live broadcast of this conversation, he says, we are tired of these two political parties.
Listen.
As if I knew.
Okay.
I told you. People are tired.
That cannot define the majority. This is democracy. In democracy...
Now you can quantify, but you just said not the SLPP, categorically dismissing that there are some people who are fed up of
for the SLPP, there's none.
But I just read to you, Hussein Hassan, currently on Facebook, you can verify our Facebook page, he says we are tired of these two political parties.
You cannot also verify if Hussein is even a Sierra Leonean or only a concerned viewer of your program. You can also not quantify that. What I'm saying, Sierra Leoneans are happy with the things the SLPP party have done in the past in this country.
You can't say...
No, because I know I'm talking of the majority of Sierra Leoneans.
Wait, Mambu. I feel at some point you are grossly misleading our audience.
I will never
You can't be making all of these fallacious statements.
No, I have evidence to back it up.
Leone?
Yes, I have.
You are referring to the generality of the population.
Of course, I have evidence to back it up. Let me
How?
give you. Thank you. The people of Sierra Leone voted SLPP government again in 2023.
Again, don't say that. Not the entire country voted.
Majority. This we are talking of in
Why
the
is it
context.
disaggregated data? How can you verify that?
No, you can go and read the Constitution.
Which Constitution? We're talking about numbers. We're talking about, data.
No, the Constitution is clear about the data.
I think you are deflecting, Mambu.
No, I am not.
No, you are
I'm
saying
you,
that Sierra Leone voted.
Sierra Leone voted the SLPP.
Not the entire Sierra Leone. Don't say that.
This is democracy. Everybody will not vote, my brother. If you stand an election now to be the head of all presenters in AYV, do you think everybody is going to vote for you? No. But if majority of AYV presenters and workers decide to elect you, it means you have the majority vote. That is what democracy is about.
Just because you won the election, that means the entire Sierra Leone likes
SLPP. That is Sierra Leone, yes.
That's not a justification.
It is, because we are talking within the context of democracy.
Mambu, you and I know how people vote in this country.
You said what?
Our country is highly polarized.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying.
You understand? So people
within the
don't go
context of democracy.
Actual democratic tenets, really.
Chief.
In Sierra Leone. No,
Chief.
people don't. I will tell you that.
Okay, Chief. Let's make our people understand. One of the greatest tenets of democracy is elections.
I understand.
One way to gain political power is to make sure you contest an election and win. When you contest an election and win, you have the mandate of the majority of that country. So as a journalist, if you cannot join me, support me in that statement that when you are elected by the majority of the country, it is Sierra Leone who have spoken, then your journalism should be questioned. If you cannot join me, no, true. If you as a journalist,
I find your
no, true. If you as a journalist cannot join me and agree,
I find your jokes.
No, if you as a journalist cannot join me and agree that when the majority of Sierra Leone make a decision to elect you, it means Sierra Leone have given you a mandate. If you cannot join me in that, then I wonder.
Mambu,
I cannot join you. I'm not a politician.
Let's get back on
track. True. Then
Mambu, sorry, let's get back on track.
I'm not a politician. I cannot join you.
Within the SLPP.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
What we've seen as well is this still from the public perspective. When I say public, I'm talking about people who are neither members nor sympathizers of the SLPP. From the public perspective, much of the disagreements people get to see and know that are occurring within the party are through the tantrums on social media. What we've seen as well is, this is why I asked you earlier, who are the members of the Elders Council? The First Lady also made an allegation that the former chairman, Hadi, is also one of the people that she supported, who is now not in good terms with her, who is also not supporting President Bio. We've seen the First Lady have issues with former chairman Napoleon, David Moinina Senge, and now we hear rumors of the First Lady wanting to succeed her husband as flag bearer of the party. These are concerns, and from the public perspective, it leaves people thinking, there is fire within the SLPP. The center cannot hold. There's division. There's no division. So how do you explain these things? Okay, so the SLPP have a leadership. President Bio is the political head of our party. Sir Jimmy Batilo Songa is the administrative head. He's been backed by 37 other executive members. So that executive and the leadership of the party, we are together. We are speaking from the same side of one particular coin, which is one people, one country. Aside from that, all the issues you have mentioned, we are a family. The SLPP is a very big family. It is okay for family members to have disagreement. It is okay for some family members at certain points in time to feel disgruntled. It is okay for family members to vent out. It's okay. We accept that as an executive. Sir Jimmy Batilo Songa accept that as the administrative father of the party. The leader of our party, His Excellency President Bio, is okay with that. As a family, there will be time we will fight. What is important is when we fight. We fight, I'm coming, oh God. What is important is when we fight within the context of our one people, one country slogan. We fight within the context of when it gets to that point to say this is where this fight is going to stop. We adhere to those principles of the reasons why our party was formed in the first place. That's why I told you the Elders Council have been working. If you follow social media, you will see the Elders Council. They met headed by... Is the peace talk working? Of course. Does it seem to be working? 100%. The SLPP is a family. I asked you earlier what lessons you learned from the APC, but you didn't get to touch on that. You spoke more on the lessons you learned. Yeah, you know why? Because hold on, you spoke more on the lessons you learned internally as a party from 2007. I asked you that earlier because in 2018, after President Koroma had selected Samora Kamara, the likes of Alpha Khan, for example, felt very bad about it because he had seen himself as somebody who should have had the honor to replace or become flag bearer of the APC. That didn't happen. Fast forward to what we saw is they lost elections, and now Alpha Khan is even now a member. He works with the SLPP. So it's coming from that. He was on loan to the APC, so he came back. So it's coming from that background that I asked. Now what we've seen as well is there are many people interested in succeeding President Bio. Obviously, only one of those people would succeed him as flag bearer. But with what's going on right now, isn't this showing signs that if not careful, you could end up like APC in 2018.
Okay, so we have nothing to learn from the APC as a political party, because we are not ghetto boys or Kamakuri boys. We'll never be. We are a democratic institution built on the foundation of democracy. We will never put flag bearers in a room, in a hall, and then allow one person to select. We don't even have what you call select. We always elect. You saw what happened in Bintumani. So when it comes to learning lessons, SLPP does not learn lessons from the APC, because the APC does not learn lessons from itself. That's why always I put it in Creole President Bio, and we all used to say, and we have agreed as Sierra Leoneans, that APC is not good for themselves as well as they are not good for this country. The lesson we are learning, as I told you, the lesson we are going to learn, and the leader continue to emphasize that. If you listen to President Bio at Bintumani, I know you followed his statement. There were rumors, right, that President Bio, this person is in President Bio's team, right? President Bio is supporting this person, right? President Bio is supporting that person, right? President Bio made a statement for himself in the hall that changed the trajectory completely. He said, I can speak for myself. I said, all the rumor that have been going around that I have been supporting candidate A or candidate B is a lie. I am speaking for myself today. I, President Bio, did not and will not support any candidate for any position in this hall. Me, as the leader of this party, I am resting on the shoulder of the delegates to choose the best candidates for our party. That's a political statement. The only political leader that have made such a statement is Nelson Mandela in 1995. No other political statement, no other political leader in Africa have made such a statement to his own political party in the biggest political gathering in his lifetime. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this to reassure the public that His Excellency the President, who is the leader of the SLPP, have two things in mind as we build up to our flag bearer race. And I want every flag bearer to listen to this today under my voice. One, the leader of our party and this national executive, we are interested in having a candidate as our flag bearer that have the mandate of our delegates, that have the mandate of the people of SLPP. That is one. Two, the president is interested in making sure that in as much as we are having a candidate that have the vote, the mandate of the people, we must ensure every other candidate that contested for the highest seats within the SLPP must note that whether you win or you lose, you must stay in the SLPP and work to make sure the SLPP maintain power. That is the goal. If you are a flag bearer who do not have those two goals in mind, because in any contest somebody have to win, and as a family, as a political party, if your allegiance is with the party and not your selfish desire, whether you win or lose, you must stay with the party to make sure we contest the 2028 election and win it on first ballot. Because at the end of the day, the SLPP, the palm tree, is better, more nicer, wiser than moving from the shade of the palm tree to the sun, which will burn you to ashes.
I believe you're a man who likes ideologies. Do you?
You say what?
You like ideologies, don't you?
Of course, every political party is built on ideology.
Why did you join the SLPP? What ideology?
The SLPP is the only political party that loves this country.
I mean, the reason why I'm asking this is a while ago you were criticizing, you were a CSO. I
have never criticized any government in my country. I have put government.
Excuse me?
In my past job, I have been putting governments on their toes to deliver for the people.
Of course.
So that does not
criticized.
No, that does not fall within the remit of criticizing. You put government, you remind government of their responsibilities to the people.
So what changed
that
you?
Does not fall.
What changed you?
Why
did you join?
I am now. I
thought we are okay being a CSO in Sierra Leone.
You are taking me back. That's why
I am not.
No, you are.
I'm asking about the ideology.
No, talk to me now about the future.
Why did you join the party?
No, listen. I want you now. That life is gone. I am facing the life of being a CSO is gone. I am now a full-blown politician. Okay. Ask me questions about my future. Being the candidate that pulled the second highest vote in the SLPP convention that have intelligent
What's your aim
delegates.
Within the SLPP?
Thank you. Those are the...
don't say thank you.
These are the questions. Not why moving from CSO to politician.
Why you sit on interviews, you don't dictate
Mambu.
the questions.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You are no longer a CSO.
No, I don't. I am not.
Of questions and responses.
No, I'm giving the response, but you know...
But you cannot also dictate the questions that can be asked.
No, I can't. Today is Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. The Fibians will 2 years ago, it's not the Fibians will today.
But you don't like
so
being asked
life changes,
questions,
you grow.
I see.
So asking
Why
me
are
past
you here,
questions cannot prepare my today.
But why are you
Are
here?
you someone who believes in accountability?
Of
Or
course.
better still, let me rephrase for you. What are your principles as a human being?
Accountability.
And
that's why when I stood before the people of this country, I was accountable
where
to the people.
and when?
When I declared my campaign, questions came up.
What platform?
About my all platform, including AYV. I came here.
Because this morning, for those who probably did not follow any
No,
of
they
those
follow. I came to
conversations,
AYV about
they
7
have
times.
missed an opportunity
when?
this
About
morning
7 times when I was
for
campaigning, I came to
Mambu,
AYV.
To those who did not follow those conversations, they have missed an opportunity this morning for you to show them that you are somebody who stands on the principle of accountability.
Okay, the opportunity I want them to get this morning is to get the principle that Mambu puts out himself, being accountable to the people of this country and the delegates of the SLPP, and they saw him worthy to give him the second highest vote in our convention. And now, what I want the people to focus on is the next political move of Mambu.
And Mambu also refused to confirm to the people whether he was a member of the SLPP while he was in civil society, leaving them with speculations.
No, that's a public information.
He was playing double.
That's a public information. That's a public information.
Can you confirm?
Of course, you can confirm.
No, I say, can you confirm now before we round
off? It's a public information.
Whether you joined the party.
AYV, look for my clip.
CSO.
I have the clip in
AYV. We're rounding off to head to the next conversation. Why should people choose the SLPP?
For 3 reasons. Number 1, the SLPP is the foundational party that have Sierra Leone, after we gain independence, that have Sierra Leone at heart. It is the only political party that lays the foundation, not for today or for tomorrow, but generations to come. We did that when we were in power between 1996 to 2007. We laid solid foundations like 1, ending the 11-year brutal war, making sure we brought back peace to this country, and making sure we lay the democratic foundations for sustainable peace, bringing assets, bringing back all institutions that were destroyed.
Did you
as a result? Oh God!
Okay,
man,
go ahead.
Oh God! You know, there's what we call trend of thought. When somebody is making sure he laid out the exposure. This is a very important question. This is a winning question. The question Phoebe have just asked me
it's a winning question.
Of course, can take us to State House again in 2028. If you give me the platform to lay it out clearly. This is a winning question. Because there are kids now who will be voting in 2028 who does not know the foundations the SLPP laid. The war the SLPP fought, including President Bio, the sacrifices the SLPP made to make sure we have peace, to a point Pakaba declared peace in 2002, that the war done. And the work the SLPP did in laying democratic foundations to make sure we get where we are today, where Sierra Leone is free, everybody is secure, internally and externally. The foundations, again, when President Bio took power, have laid to make sure we build the human capital base. You know why our opponent does not want citizens to be educated, and we as SLPP are saying no? Because when citizens are educated, they will be able to decipher between the truth and the lies. They will be able to choose the political party who have the willpower to lay a clear foundation for the future of this country, like what President Bio have done in making sure he launched the free quality education, not for himself, not for his kids, but to make sure we move kids from 250,000 they were accessing education when the APC was in power to today 3.9 million kids accessing education. That is a foundational building. That is the SLPP for you. These are the values I saw in the SLPP. The SLPP does not care about cosmetic. The SLPP does not care about fixing for today or to gain political power. The SLPP believes in building this country for generations to come. We are laying a solid foundation to make sure when the generations come, even when generations will pass, they will meet an educational system. They will meet a society that's enlightened, that is technology oriented, that is open to the world. Sierra Leone is not being a spectator anymore in the world, but Sierra Leone now sits in the table to make decisions. These are the reasons why Sierra Leoneans are going to choose the SLPP over any other political party in 2028. 2028, with all of these goodies that the SLPP have done, will be a first round victory.
1 minute, Mambu. What are your ambitions within the SLPP? You had wanted me to ask that, so I'm asking you now. What do you want to become?
My political ambition.
Why you joined the party?
My political ambition is to one day lead this country as the president of Sierra Leone. One day. And
You'll be running as a flag bearer
one day in this country. Not only a flag bearer, is to lead.
I'm asking whether you'll be
for this one. No,
flag bearer.
No, I will not.
You will not. Okay.
I will not. We are the kingmakers.
Okay.
We are going to make sure any flag bearer the people give us, we are going to capture that flag bearer, take him across this country, make sure that flag bearer will lay out a message that will build on what President Bio have done and continue building the foundation of this country. We will not go back to Kamakui Road. Never. The people of this country will not agree. The 4.1 million supporters and followers of SLPP will never agree for this country again to go back to Kamakui Road. Never.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mambu, for your time this morning. I wanted to read out some of the comments, but we're out of time, so unfortunately we can't. But if you have time during the day, please go through our comment section and read some of the messages there. This is Wake Up Sierra Leone here on AYV Television. Please stay with us. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll be moving into the second and final segment. We'll be having a conversation with the main opposition, All People's Congress, on their preparations for elections.
All right, welcome back. This is Wake Up Sierra Leone on the African Voices Television and Radio. Don't forget to keep those messages coming in on our Facebook page. It's AYV News. Now in our final segment this morning, after fulfilling provisions of their party's constitution, the All People's Congress APC party is currently preparing to conduct its internal elections ahead of their delegate conference in 2026, where the party will eventually elect its flag bearer candidate. However, there has been concerns on the 5 years stay and the party to be flag bearer, among other things. So this morning, to discuss all of these issues, we have been joined by Minkailu Koroma. He's member of the APC publicity team. This morning, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you.
Grateful.
So what's new within the APC? I know you're preparing for your delegate conference, how the internal structures are being set up. What should we know?
Yes, as you rightly pointed out, we are in readiness. We have submitted rules to be gazetted by PPRC. That is a standard requirement. The rules are now in circulation for members to read and understand and make their conclusions. It is also open to objections. If you think you have been disenfranchised and you believe the Constitution has been contravened, the party's Constitution, or there are stringent requirements which are not in good faith, it is up to you to now challenge them. And so after the period may have elapsed, 21 days, we can get feedback from PPRC, we can sit and discuss some of the objections, and then we now will proceed with our dates. Remember, the initial dates were altered. Now, on the 22nd April 2025, there was an internal timetable or timelines for elections circulated by the National Secretary General, Lawyer Lansana Dumbuya. We did propose that on the 28th April, we are to submit the election rules and regulations to PPRC, which we have done. Publication of voter or membership register. There is an initial voter register that has been published. That is in circulation now. Ward elections were scheduled for the 10th of August. That did not hold based on other requirements. And then other dates were also altered. But now the rules will be concluded very soon and new dates will come up for those elections to commence. We are still within the time frame. And membership is also being addressed. A lot of people are still verifying. There are those who are also making some clarifications based on alteration in their payment receipt. So all of that is being addressed currently. Meetings are taking place, education of our membership is ongoing, everything is in place. Soon we shall announce new dates for lower level elections, commencing with ward elections, constituency, district, regional, specialized organs of the party, and then the National Delegates Conference. We are within the time frame.
I'll talk with you what I talked with Mambu just a while ago. It was the same kind of conversation. A lot of people are saying they're tired of these two parties. Why should people trust the APC?
If people are tired with those parties, the APC and the SLPP, what is the alternative? We have not seen an alternative. Sierra Leone, like other countries, there are always traditional parties. When you go to the UK, you have the Labour and the Conservative. When you go to the US, there is a Democrat and the Republican, and so on and so forth in other countries. These are fine democracies, be it parliamentary or presidential. So that is just the practice across the world. It is not easy for a third force to emerge and eventually take over political governance of the state. When the SLPP took this country to a coalition party to independence in 1961, the United Front Party, led by Sam Milton Magai, they came again and then they governed the state under the SLPP. By 1964, Magai passed on, and then we have Sir Albert Magai, who took over. And then later in 1967, the APC took over through Shaka Probin Stevens. And then even after the war, we saw the emergence of other political parties, like the UNPP under Khalifa Smart, we have the PDP under Temu Bangura, we have the other parties, NUP, whatever it is. There are many political parties in 1996. But at the end of the day, SLPP was able to command majority in the ballot box. And so Tijan Kaba of blessed memory was announced president. Even though those elections were questionable, it is widely believed that the elections were won by Khalifa Smart of the UNPP and that James Jonah, who later became Minister of Finance, connived with the SLPP to rig those elections. It is on record, yeah? But then even after the SLPP have governed for a decade or more, later in 2007, we saw the APC. You know, there was a splinter. We saw the PMDC that came with a very high force. They obtained about 15% of the total votes. They had seats in parliament, but they were not able to command majority. So the people still then trusted the APC. In 1996, APC was only able to secure 5 seats in parliament. But in 2002, we increased it to 27 seats. Ernest by Koroma was opposition leader of the APC at that time, and leader in parliament again. So we are able to increase on our popularity and our vote. So in 2004, for the local council elections, the APC won in Freetown, we won in many places. And then we developed from that to win the 2007 elections. So the APC came back. And then in 2018, we also saw a transition from the APC to the SLPP. So to tell me it is possible for other parties to come and wipe off the APC and SLPP, the possibility is very slim. We also saw in 2018 the Coalition for Change from Kono, led by Chief Alhaji Abubakar Siddiq Samsumana, former Vice President. They won the Kono District Council, they won the Kono Koidu City Council. They also won majority of the MP seats, about 8 or 9 in Kono. They won a lot of the councillor seats. In Cambia, we saw the NGC, the National Grand Coalition, led by Dr. Kande Koleyom Kela. They won the Cambia District Council, won about 4 MP seats. They also won majority of the councillor seats then. But then later in 2023, when we now say we want to use the PR system, which is a calculated attempt by any country to want to eliminate smaller political parties, you have now noticed that in parliament, you only have the APC and the SLPP there. That is a testament to the fact that the PR system cannot be justified. The PR system cannot better fit in a presidential democracy. Maybe it can work in a parliamentary democracy, but that is not the topic of discussion here. To conclude, the fact of the matter is the APC and the SLPP shall continue to govern Sierra Leone. There is no way people will now. Some people are ideologically inclined. Yeah, some have inherited those parties. When you go to the south and the east, that is the stronghold of the SLPP. When you come to the western area, northwest and north, that is the stronghold of the APC. Nobody can dispute that. And when you go to other countries, you have states that are blue states, states that are red states in America, same for conservative and the Labour Party in the UK. So that is just it. They cannot wipe off those political parties, the APC and the SLPP. In 2028, the APC will again emerge. We are going to win with an overwhelming majority. I came in, I met Moses almost concluding.
What's the source of that confidence?
Yeah.
The
source of the confidence is that people have made their assessment. When we came in 2007, yeah, we met Sierra Leone at a very deplorable condition in terms of health, education, electricity, and even the economy of the state in totality. So we were able to manage that well to a point that we moved the total business and economic value of Sierra Leone from 5 trillion to 30 trillion in 2018 before we left. Yeah. When you read the handing over note of Ernest by Koroma, you can see that we met allocation to education at about 2 to 3 abysmal percent allocation to education. We moved it from 2 to 3% to 17% before we left. We did a lot. Yeah, we transformed the country. Roads, we constructed a lot. We introduced a lot of new initiative in the education sector. At that time, female in the sciences, we are not paying university fees. In all universities, as long as you are in the sciences, you are either reading chemistry, biological sciences, engineering, medicine, we are not paying fees. We paid for public examinations, yeah, for Becker and WAS. We also subsidize university fees. Those were times you cannot pay more than 7,000 leones. Well, what used to be 7 million leones. Now it is 7,000 leones. For us in the honor school, we were paying less than 700 leones. Yeah? Some of us were entitled to scholarships as long as you can perform well. So we transformed the sector to a very large extent. So if the people have again compared the SLPP in 2018 to 2023 and now 2023 to 2028, they will be left with no option but to give us another try to continue governing the state.
APC also left under austerity measures, which continued as well during the SLPP
What did we
government.
leave? Say again?
The APC left under austerity measures.
Okay, now let me say this, Vivian. Austerity.
Signaling that even during the days of the APC, up until you left office, the economy wasn't as rosy or beautiful as people wanted it to be.
The economy was better.
But you yourself,
now
as a government then, instituted austerity measures.
Now, let me
Those cannot be instituted if all is well.
Now, I agree with you. I am not going to disagree. There was a period when the economy was thriving, when the sale on iron ore was progressing, when Salone as a government was making huge sum from iron ore. There was a point even before the twin shocks, the drop in the sales of iron ore and Ebola struck. Salone was regarded as one of the fastest growing economies. So at that period, we were advised by development partners, IMF and the World Bank, to cut down on government expenditure. So austerity does not mean the economy is collapsing. It presupposes government should control expenditure, cut down on expenditure, and ensure that the wage bill is controlled. So the advice then was that we do not want people to now embark on spending too much on certain things that can be addressed within ministries. We did say if you want to organize a workshop, for example, in Bintumani or Adisimblu, do it within your premises and save that money to be put into another area. So that wasn't bad at all. So the austerity at that time was cutting on government expenditure. Again, even the vacancies were there. We had about 700 vacancies at NRA, about 400 at the Ministry of Education. We did not employ because we managed the wage bill. And the wage bill did not exceed 1.89 trillion at that time. Now we are talking about, it is being projected, if you are using the same old currency, at about 4.6 trillion or 7.6. I have to check that out. So we managed the wage bill. We did not employ indiscriminately. Same cannot be said with the SLPP. I have just told you about the economic value.
Same cannot be said as well for some people who followed through on the APC-led administration, where there are so many offices that were duplicated. We had National Youth Commission, we had Minister of Youth, we had Presidential Youth Aid. That's just one example of some of the areas that people said were over employment, adding to the wage bill.
I agree. Yeah, there were duplications. I agree. And some of us were critics to that. But can you now compare the way the duplications were at that rate to now? Can you compare that? Let us take the Ministry of the Environment, take EPA, take NPPA, and take the Department of Disaster Management at ONS, and see how you can now compare the duplication that are unfolding now to the APC. President Bio campaigned on a point that he was coming to control the wage bill. and that he was coming to even cut down on diplomatic missions. He has established a lot of diplomatic missions compared to what he met.
Now that is
so
one of the things
you
that
don't compare APC and SLPP regarding that.
People who feel, sort of, for lack of a better word to use, people who feel disgusted with the APC and the SLPP, these are some of the things they stand on. The APC and the SLPP only seem to know what is wrong when they are in opposition. But when you get an opportunity to take the seat of governance at the executive arm, you seem to revisit all the things that you had criticized while in opposition. Why should anyone expect that things would be different if APC is given a chance again at governance?
No, one cannot compare the APC and the SLPP when it comes to progress. The APC is a progressive party, it's a welfare party. The SLPP is a retrogressive party. It's a party that is not progressive at all. We've seen that.
They said the same things about you just now.
Say again?
The SLPP said the same things about
I would have loved to be here so that we can have a conversation one-on-one. Unfortunately, you invited us separately. I would have loved to be here. Yeah, because most of the things they may have stated may have been misleading. You know, you as journalists may not have the courage to correct them spot on for professionality. But if I was here, I was going to correct some of those fallacies. You cannot compare the two. The APC is far better to the SLPP. We've seen that. Even the standard of living. You can understand, you can agree with me. When we were in governance, by the time we were living, you can purchase a bag of rice, 50 kg, for about 200 leones. Yeah, the minimum wage then was 600 leones. Now, what is the minimum wage and what is a bag of rice, the cost of a bag of rice? If the minimum wage is 800 and a bag of rice is 750, what then do you take home for other, you know, to address other very essential, you know, needs? You don't have anything to take home. So you don't compare the two. If we are purchasing fuel at 6 leones, it is now 25 leones. What then do you compare the two? If the exchange rate was 608 leones, it's now about 26 or 28 leones for black marketing. How do you compare the two? So the APC is far better to the SLPP.
Minkailu, let's get off the road going down memory lane and let's come back to the present. As you prepare for the elections ahead within your party, some members of the party, some sections feel aggrieved, especially with the 5 years qualification, 5 years stay within the party to qualify you for flag bearer position. An individual like Chief Samsumana, for example, is somebody who is no secret has been very interested in becoming president of Sierra Leone. Even while he was a member of the APC, till he formed C4C, he became the presidential candidate, and he's back. For him and some of his supporters, the assumption is this is just a clause there to disenfranchise him from accessing that opportunity of becoming flag bearer of the party.
Now, what is a constitution? A constitution is an organized body of laws, principles, and customs by which an institution is established and governed. A constitution cannot be drawn up for one individual, not one single individual. These are basic eligibility requirements. The March 7, 2022 Constitution, which some of us championed, you know, for which we are proponents, for which we also paid the price, is a constitution that is meant to cater for every shades of opinion, every individual. That is most of the reason we have to understand this clearly. The Constitution did not target Chief Alhaji Abubakar Samsumana. We need to know this clearly. I hate having this discussion, but these are basic standard requirements. We have said...
But this Constitution was reviewed, correct?
It was repealed and replaced.
When?
In 2022, March 7.
Before that, what did the Constitution say about your membership duration to qualify you for flag bearer?
Yeah, well, that has been repealed and replaced.
No, I'm asking, before that, before the new Constitution, what did the old one say?
You cannot take the law into retrospect. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, but we need to know, what did the old Constitution say?
You have to be qualified to be elected. Now, the old Constitution, which some of us
did not give,
against.
It did not give time?
You have asked the question.
Yeah, but answer that question because it helps us to know where we're heading.
It
specifically
does.
speak to that. What did it say?
Yeah. For you to be qualified, there are standard eligibility requirements even in the 1995 Constitution of the APC. But because that Constitution was repealed and replaced.
No, I want to know
I don't
the
even want to
content
go
of
back to that constitution.
What did that constitution say?
Well, we
did
are
it
not
still say 5 years?
No, the 1995 constitution is not under review, Phoebian. So we don't need to even mention it. It has been repealed and replaced. So it makes
That's
no sense.
on your assessment to you. Pardon the senseless conversation for now, because it makes no sense to you. But to other people, it does make sense.
And that constitution is now in the dustbin of
I'm
history.
asking you intentionally because this new constitution came into effect in 2022.
Yes.
And this was a period when Sam Sumana was no longer a member of the APC. It would be easy for one to assume that while the constitutional review process was ongoing, there are people who had seen the case of Sam Sumana and wanted to address that, and intentionally now putting this new clause within the constitution to say you should have been a member for up to 5 years before you qualify.
No, I want to disagree. Now, the 5-year eligibility requirement is not only for the leader and flag bearer of the APC, even for other national officers of the party. Now, let me explain this. Maybe people can understand better. Now, the eligibility requirement, begins with the word elections. For you to qualify to be elected as world executive, to vote and to be voted for, you must have been registered and fully paid up member for a period of 1 year. And now going to the constituency, for you to qualify to be voted for at constituency level, you should have been registered and paid up for a period of 2 years. Same can be said for the district. As for the region, for you to qualify to be elected at regional convention, you have to be registered and fully paid up for a period of 5 years. That is the same requirement for Women's Congress leadership. That is the same requirement for Young Congress leadership. That is the same requirement for all national officers of the party. That is the same requirement for the leader and flag bearer of the party. So it is not for an individual. Our constitution did not target any single individual. But let us make that abundantly clear. The requirements are basic. These are standard requirements. You have to meet them before you are qualified.
Wouldn't it disenfranchise Sam Sumana? Wouldn't it?
Now, a constitution is not meant for one individual. You need to know this. There are other people who are also interested.
Now affected.
Yes, there are other people who are also interested in running for leader and flag bearer, for national chairman of the party, for deputy, for secretary general, for publicity secretary. They are also affected by that requirement. It is not only
was it intentional?
It was never intentional. These are laws. Now, if the Constitution of Sierra Leone says you have to be 40 years of age for you to be elected as president, do you want to tell me they were targeting individuals when the law was drafted? If the Constitution says you have to belong to a political party to aspire, do you want to tell me you can come as an independent candidate to now contest to want to be president?
You may not see it now. Wouldn't this further divide the APC?
So constitutions are not meant to eliminate individuals.
Wouldn't this
constitutions are meant to stand the test of time? We have to know that clearly.
I understand. But wouldn't this further divide the APC?
Why should it divide the APC? Now let me establish
not only
this.
Sam Sumana, but a lot of people.
No, but these are requirements. We need to understand this. You cannot just wake up one morning and come from nowhere and say you want to lead a party. It is not possible. You understand? If you want to lead a party, you must have followed that party. Now again, let me tell you, constitutions are meant to be reviewed.
Okay.
You understand? It is no hard and fast rule to say we are not going to review our constitution. Let me say, if the circumstances require the APC to review its constitution to make room for individuals based on the surrounding circumstance, so be it. But as it stands now, our constitution is very clear. The eligibility requirement for regional officers, for national officers, for organs of the party, for flag bearer and leader is 5 years. And that is not changing. That is just the until we review the constitution. That is the standard requirement. There are requirements from ward to constituency to district to region to flag bearer to national officers to organs of the party. There are requirements. So we need to know this. Again, what people need to understand is that you cannot belong to two political parties at the same time. Chief Alhaji Abubakar Sam Sumana is an elder brother. He's a friend. I have tremendous love and respect for him. He's a registered and paid up member of the APC now. He's not a member. There's no contention about his membership. Is he qualified to now run for leader and flag bearer of the APC? That is a question of meeting the eligibility requirement as established in our constitution.
Is he?
That is just too clear.
Is he?
It's a question of meeting the eligibility requirement.
Is he eligible?
I can still recall Sometimes in 2021, at the height of the COVID, 2021, at the height of the COVID, a NAC meeting, the National Advisory Committee meeting, was convened in McKinney, where a letter was written to indicate that Sam Sumana has applied to come back to the APC after moving from the C4C. At the time in 2018 they formed the C4C, he was not a member of the APC. We need to know that clearly, because the law also says you cannot belong to two political parties at the same time. You cannot be a member of the APC and the SLPP at the same time. The PPRC Act is very clear. The Constitution is very clear. We need to know that. So in 2021, when he wrote to the party to come back, and when the party actually replied that your letter we have received, and this is now subject to the approval of an NDC.
When did the NDC approve his membership? When did he officially become a member?
In 2023. I was at the convention. When we went to McKinney in 2023, the elections that elected Dr. Samura Wilson Kamara for the second time to lead the APC, I was there.
I want clarity on your constitution. Sorry.
Yes.
What does it say? Interpret your constitution for us. It says 5 years.
Yes.
But is it 5 years to when the person is maybe selected, elected, whichever you do, to flag bearer, or 5 years to the time of the elections? The national elections.
Yeah, 5 years to flag bearer. It is a continuous requirement.
I'm asking because if it's to the elections, from 2022 to 2028, it would be 5 years.
No, not to the election.
Which would mean perhaps Sam Sumana should qualify.
No, Fibian, let us get this very clear.
So give clarity on that.
Now, for us to indicate those eligibility requirements was very deliberate. We need to ensure that the party is protected, that people coming to lead the party should have institutional knowledge, and they should understand the politics of the country. We do not want to see a circumstance in which somebody will come tomorrow from nowhere with huge money and to say, I am now coming to lead the APC. Forget Sam Sumana in this case. He was not targeted in this constitution. The constitution says 5 years leading to the period in which you seek to be elected into office. And we are not talking about the 2028 election in this case. We are talking about the APC National Delegate Conference, which is scheduled to take place in early 2026. So in 2023, I was there at the convention around October or so in 2023, when Lawyer Ibrahim Sori, who was the chairman of that convention, did say to us, delegates and other aspirants that we are in the convention hall, that all those who have applied to become members of the APC or for their membership to be readmitted, I am now putting forward a motion that we accept them or reject them. By acclamation, everybody did say, let us accept them, let them come back. So he was reinstated, he was readmitted in 2023.
Now let's come to Jagaban.
Yeah.
How long has he been a member of the APC?
I cannot tell. I don't know his membership.
Is he a member of the APC?
Yes, he's a member of the APC. But I cannot tell the duration.
Because on social media, you would know that he's vying for the flag bearer position.
I am
and you
aware.
have 5 years within the party.
Yeah.
Would he be qualified by the time you go for convention?
I don't know. I can say for Chief Sam Sumana because I was at the convention where I was readmitted. I cannot say for Jagaban because I did not know the time he registered. Minkailu Koroma became a registered member of this party when I was in high school in 2002 at the government secondary school in Kenima. I have about 20 years standing. And even when I was verified, the initial date of registration was also indicated on my membership card. It is there. I cannot vouch for other people.
The voting pattern in Sierra Leone seems quite an interesting one. In 2007, there are people who would tell you that it was because the SLPP was divided, Charles Magai formed PMDC, that supported the victory of the APC. We also saw in 2018 a division within the APC when Dr. Samura Kamara was selected by President Koroma, not giving the party members an opportunity to vote for their flag bearer. That led to another disagreement. Some members pulled out of the party and refused to support. You lost elections. Right now what we're seeing in the SLPP is some skirmishes here and there. The Publicity Secretary Mambu was saying it's not disunity, but whatever choice of word. Is the APC banking on the disunity within the SLPP to help them win elections in 2028?
No, we don't need to bank on the disunity of the SLPP or any political party. Even I know for sure that the SLPP is going to be more disintegrated because they have conducted themselves in rather improper manner, commencing with their lower level elections to their national delegates conference. But let me state this, Fabian. We are not banking on the disunity within the SLPP. And I also believe there are circumstances. You did not mention 2023, yeah? In 2020, you did not mention 2018. In 2018...
I mentioned 2018.
No, well, what you mentioned the PMDC in 2007.
And I mentioned
did mention the 2018 for the Coalition for Change that was formed by Sam Sumana. But even in 2018, there was another splinter within the SLPP, that is the NGC from KKY, that commanded majority of the votes also in some parts of the country, including Gambia. But the SLPP went ahead and won the elections. So let me tell you, certainly that we are not banking on any disunity. We are a formidable party. And I am not anticipating a situation in which people will break away from the APC to go now form a party because of eligibility requirement. I mean, this is just too clear.
Well, it has happened before.
No, well, I am not saying it has not happened. I am saying I am not seeing that circumstance because the Constitution is very fair. It is not targeting anybody. Yeah. When we came in 2018, we saw the loopholes. We did say we don't want to say circumstance in which people can be selected based on sentiment. We did say we want the office of the leader and chairman to be separated. You cannot be chairman and leader. You understand? To create room for other competitors. Because if you are chairman and leader, even after election, you continue to hold the party, family, under your control. Because you are chairman and you will separate those offices. We have also said we want to see a term limit. As previously the case, you can run for chairman of the party continuously. Now, after 2 terms, you are no longer qualified to run. We amended, we reviewed the Constitution, we overhauled the Constitution. Even the Young Congress, 18 to 35, to make room for young people to be a training ground. A lot was achieved. And now this is a Constitution that has stood the test of time. We are not going to contravene it to satisfy just an individual. It is a Constitution. The law is the law.
A lot of people are vying to become flag bearer within your party. Numbers are alarming.
Yes, it is called democracy. You know, it is happening even in the best of democracies, even in America.
Aren't you worried as a party?
No, we are not.
People?
We are not. We have started engagement. It is, you know, for public consumption. Quite recently, 2 meetings were conveyed at NAC level, what we call expanded or extended NAC. You saw all of the flag bearer aspirants, they were there. We have started talking. And I believe before going to the NDC, some tension may have been diffused, coalitions may have been built, some people may, we are going to have a vetting process. At the end of the day, we cannot take too many of the aspirants to the convention. A lot of people see reasons why they should step aside and allow a few who have got actually the momentum. I believe so.
What would you be doing for the elections? Would you be selecting a flag bearer or electing a flag bearer?
We do not. The word selection was expunged in the Constitution and thrown in the dustbin of history. It's no longer there. We are going to elect, not select. There is no alternative but election. We are going to elect the flag bearer and we shall elect all other officials of the party. No one will be selected.
How inclusive is the APC in terms of intentionally ensuring that certain categories of people are included in governance? Persons living with disabilities, women, youths. How inclusive, how intentional are you as a party about inclusivity?
We are very intentional. You are seeing the representation in parliament. We have women, adequate women representation. We have young people that are in parliament. Some of them were elected to be in parliament within their youth age. We also have a disability wing within our party. That tells you we cater for every shades of opinion. You know, the Young Congress, we have, you know, democratized it in such a way that even those within 18 to 35, previously what used to be the case, you can see somebody in their 50s and going to hold position at the Youth League, now Young Congress. So that tells you we are very inclusive. We have catered for every individual, every shades of opinion. And then when we form government in 2028, you are going to see a lot of women holding sensitive positions, a lot of young people appointed into positions. We will do that.
What are your ambitions within the party, Minkailu?
My ambition?
What do you hope to become?
With time I shall reveal that. Yeah, I am not running for flag bearer and leader of the APC at this material time. But when it comes to me declaring for whatever position I want to run for, I'll ask for airtime and come to AYV and do that declaration. I am yet to decide on that.
Why should the people of Sierra Leone choose APC?
The reasons are in abundance. Yeah, the APC is a welfare government. We cater for every individual. When the APC is in governance, the economy is always very formidable. The business environment or business climate is encouraging. You know, we do not place unnecessary taxation on our people. You can see that even the investors are almost very comfortable to jet in the country and do business when the APC is in governance. We have respect for fundamental rights of our citizens. We do not impose. You can recall that the country was not under tension. Tension started mounting since 2018. One thing that is very clear, when the APC was in governance, even when there were by-elections, we do not go to the southeast and impose ourselves like the SLPP, you know, has done in this country. There was an election in Blama, Small Bow Chiefdom in Kenema, an election that was almost won by the APC. But when the SLPP, we are very desperate, we allowed them. We did not go to Kailan by-election to impose ourselves as the SLPP did in Tonkolimba. They also went to even Kwenadugu, changed 049 to 149, you know, with the intention of rigging elections, imposing themselves in 110. They did a lot of things that the APC never did. So I think the APC is a better alternative to govern this country than any other political party.
Thank you, Minkailu Koroma, for being a part of the program this morning. Well, this is where we'll have to end today's edition of the program Wake Up Sierra Leone. Would like to say thanks to our guests for being a part of the program. Thanks to you, our audience, for tuning in, and those of you who participated by dropping questions and comments on our comment section of AYV News Facebook page. We appreciate you. Thanks to our sponsor, Rokel Commercial Bank, and all the advertisers supporting Wake Up Sierra Leone and AYV Media Empire. Thanks to our production unit. We've been your presenters. I am Phoebe Sweel, wishing you a productive week and a lovely day.
Indeed, my name is Victor Johnson. Indeed, happy new month to all of you. We'll be here again tomorrow morning at exactly 8 a.m. Goodbye.